January shut the day's door early. The night, heavy and swift, was descending when Gringoire left the palace. The falling shadows charmed him. He wanted a dark alley, a stone bench, and philosophy to dress the wound that the comedy had inflicted on him. He no longer had a lodging. His dramatic effort had just been hissed. He feared returning to Rue Grenier-sur-Lot, where he owed 6 months to Master Guillaume Duc-Sire. 12 Paris sols, that was all his treasure. 12 times the value of his breeches, his shirt, and his little cap. After a moment's pause beneath the wicket of the treasurer of the Sainte-Chapelle's prison, he remembered a step, the solitary stone, which struck him as a very good pillow. Grateful to Providence for so simple a thought, he was preparing to make his way to the city when the procession of the Pope of Fools burst from the palace. Cries, torches, music. This sight reopened the raw wound of his pride. Gringoire fled. Everything that recalled the festivities sharpened the sore of his humiliation. He wanted to cross the Pont Saint-Michel. Children were running there with fire lances and rockets. "Curse those fireworks," he said, and turned aside toward the Pont au Change. Banners hung, painted by Jean Fourbeau. The crowd admired. "Fortunate painter Jean Fourbeau," sighed Gringoire, and he averted his gaze. A dark street presented itself. He plunged into it, seeking oblivion and silence. He struck and fell, the May boot left there by the clerks of the Basoche. He rose with heroism and reached the riverbank. After the civil tournelle in the criminal tower, skirting the great wall of the King's Gardens where the mud clung to his ankles, he arrived at the tip of the Ile de la Cité. The islet of the cow ferryman took shape, a hive-like hut, a single small light. "Happy cow ferryman," he thought, "you know nothing of glory, you do not compose epithalamiums, you only know the daisies that April gives for grazing. Your little cabin soothes my eyes and makes me forget Paris." The dream was abruptly broken by a pair of St. John's firecrackers fired from the hut. The ferryman was taking his share of the fun. Gringoire started. "Damn this festival," he cried. "Will you pursue me even to the cow ferryman's?" By the Seine, a temptation to oblivion seized him. How gladly I would drown myself if the water were not so cold. But the hope of another torment or of another rescue prevailed. Since he could not escape the boots, the little flags, and the firecrackers, he resolved to thrust himself boldly into the very heart of the festivities, to go to the Place de Grève. At least there he would find an ember and some scrap of the public feast.